new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right through the source, through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's another edition of Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey on this Tuesday night. I'm Joe Norman, joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo, after another weekend sweep for the Stars. It was a little different than the previous 2 weekends, but the Stars got it done nonetheless. First off with a 5-2 win last Friday against the Des Moines Buccaneers. And then after that, Lincoln followed it up at home this past Saturday in front of a packed icebox, a 9-3 win over the Omaha Lancers. And Rocky, certainly one of the more memorable games in a lot of ways in recent years, at least for us, I would say. Just the largest crowd either you or I have seen since we've been here. That was a special night in the capital city.
Yeah, and like I said in my post game, that was the draw here, right? That was why I wanted to be the head coach of the Lincoln Stars. And I knew the history of this franchise and the success they had the late 90s, the early 2000s. And, it had been a long time since they were serious Clark Cup contenders. And, I think we've done a good job of rehabbing the franchise. And, our affiliate list is really strong right now. Our team's obviously very good. And, That's a big tip of the hat to Nick and our scouting staff and the way that they've managed to identify the right players and get the right players into camp. And so, it's been a full staff effort top to bottom and support from Mr. Fernandez and Tyler and all the people that are doing those things. And, a big thank you to our front office staff that worked really hard to fill the building and bring in 3,900. And, now the challenge is let's do that more often. It doesn't have to be Omaha. Let's do that against Waterloo. Let's do that against Tri-City. Let's create that environment of excitement for the community and the fan base, regardless of who the opponent is.
Yeah, we were really close to getting 4,000 fans. It ended up being 3,856 fans. Thank you if you were in attendance, making that night a really special night. Really appreciate everyone who came out. And we're trying to get to 4,000 for the first time since November 9th, 2019. So pre-pandemic, but we've seen in recent years, really, since then. Every year, things get a little bit better with sports attendance. And going to get an opportunity here in a few weeks, February 7th, when we're back at home. But Rocky first heading onto the road, 3 games in 3 days against 3 different opponents this weekend. This is the challenge. So you get, but we've had a pretty comfortable schedule for the most part to this point since coming back from Christmas. It's good to be a little uncomfortable sometimes, isn't it?
It's always a little easier to be uncomfortable when the Ohio State Buckeyes are the national champions. But in all seriousness, it's great. I'm looking forward to it. The guys are looking forward to it. It's a challenge for the players to get their recovery and to get their rest. And, we play in Cedar on Friday, then we play in Dubuque on Saturday. So we'll leave Cedar in time to get to Dubuque for the game on Saturday. And then, it's almost a 6-hour drive to Sioux City from Dubuque. So we're out at 6 a.m. on Sunday in order to make it to Sioux City in time to play a 3:00 Sunday matinee game. So that's certainly a challenge of our conditioning and our mental toughness. And, from a staff perspective, it's 3 different pre-scouts. It's meals in 3 different cities. It's a lot that goes into it. And, fortunately, Art and Ross are fantastic at what they do, not just from a hockey standpoint, which they are certainly excellent at, but an administrative standpoint, which a lot of people don't realize is part of the responsibility of an assistant coach. Those guys do a bang up job. And I don't even have to, I don't have to question whether it's being done because they're, they know that, it's in the best interest of the players and the team to make sure they have good meals, make sure we're getting to places at the right time. And that certainly takes some stress off of my plate and I could focus on other things. And I know that those trips are handled. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate them being on the ball when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, it's those logistics that maybe the average fan doesn't even think, but we have to count for all that. There's a lot that goes into travel in the USHL.
Absolutely. And, we are lucky based on our location, our distance traveled in a lot of cases is not bad compared to a lot of the other teams in our league and especially in our conference. So, you do have those long trips on occasion. Obviously we've been out to Youngstown, we go to Madison later in the year. We've been to Chicago. We go to Fargo again, but those are simple trips in the sense that you go to one place and you stay there for 3 days. This presents a very unique challenge that, we'll take care of. And it certainly is, there's no excuses to be made. Our goal is to go and get 6 points. We know that's not going to be easy anytime you play on the road, anytime you play quality opponents, which in all 3 cases is what's happening this weekend. You got to do your best to come out with wins and our guys will be prepared.
We got the bulk of the heavy travel out of the way in the fall. November was a busy month. I mean, there were 3 or 4 weekends in one stretch where we were on the road staying places, and it was pretty far away for a few of those too, but in a way that was kind of nice because you made things in the new year, especially when you never know what the weather's going to be like, a little bit more manageable in that sense. But it is a good opportunity this weekend. You said it, Rocky. This is 3 different opponents. Sioux City on Sunday in conference, not too far behind the Stars in the standings. They're in 3rd right now all of a sudden with Fargo's up and down play as of late. And then you look at the Eastern Conference test. Cedar Rapids is battling for a playoff spot. Dubuque has the best record in the USHL right now. So this is going to be an interesting opportunity against 3 different types of opponents with different motivation.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Cedar and they beat us at the beginning of the year, and so there's some thoughts of revenge there, and us getting our pound of flesh, so to speak. But they're a good opponent. They obviously are very well coached, and Mark Carlson is um, one of the most successful coaches in USHL history, and then Dubuque, they came in here. That was a tough time for us, obviously, with a lot going on off the ice, and they took 2 points from us here in the ice box. So we're excited to be able to try to return that favor. And then Sunday's a conference game against a very good opponent, and we know how valuable all these points are. And Dubuque does have, they've got 2 points on us, right? They've got one extra win and one less loss than we do, and so that's how tight the race for the Anderson Cup is right now. And we know we're not going to win or lose that this weekend, but certainly, anytime you can accumulate points, you want to do everything you can.
Love to have your questions be part of the show. Text us right now, 402-464-5685. If you have any questions about the Lincoln Stars, looks like we've got a couple already.
Yeah, this one from Nyla here. Agree or disagree, bottom of the barrel teams do present themselves to be more of a challenge than those that are at the top sometimes.
I mean, I think I did kind of allude to that in post game on Saturday. It's a challenge to play a team like Omaha that's in such a tough stretch right now, because they do have some good players. You saw that those guys made some plays, they scored some goals. If you don't take them seriously, if you don't compete as hard as you can, they can steal some wins from you. And you saw, I mean, they beat us a few times last year. I think they won the season series. We had a hard time getting up for them last year, and they were able to really get up for us. And so, you've got to make sure that you maintain your focus. You can't be too concerned about your opponent. You have to respect your opponent, but you have to focus on what you do. And that's why you hear the word process and identity come out of my mouth so frequently, because those are the things that we have to rely on regardless of who we're playing or the situation and circumstance.
That's the thing with this weekend. Like we just said a moment ago, 3 different types of opponents. One's in your conference, one's atop the league standings, the other's battling for a playoff spot. So it's got to be the same effort all 3 days.
Yes, there's no, you don't get to pick and choose how hard you play depending on who you're playing, because this is such a good league top to bottom that anybody can give you a great game night in and night out.
And you brought up the great point the other day too, Rocky. I want to bring that up. You mentioned that it can be a trap sometimes when you see guys missing on a line chart. I know a lot of fans commented on that. Hey, Omaha's only got 9 forwards. Well, you can't see that and get complacent and just think, okay, we just gotta be more conditioned and we'll win this.
You know what? In my experience, generally when a team dresses short against you, you end up losing. And it happened to us a couple years ago against Tri-City, and we were the better team that year. And they dressed real short one game, and that was one of the games they beat us that year. And happened to us a couple times when I was in Amarillo. It's just one of those things where the guys take a peek and they're like, oh, they only got 3 lines. They only got 5D, and I
human nature.
Yeah, they had 7D, but it's definitely not something that should change your mentality when it comes to your compete level.
Harrison, any other questions on the line right now?
Yeah, we got one more here. Let me pull it up here. Unknown texter 116. What's the best city to play in on the road?
Oh, the best city to play.
You're going to say Youngstown, Ohio, right?
I mean, the best place to visit for me was certainly Youngstown, Ohio.
I really like Cranberry Township personally.
Well, yeah, that's, I think we both just called out our hometowns, but Youngstown, as everybody knows, was special because my entire family's there. We got to have the home cooked meal. We got to ride the fire truck. We got to do all the things that you do when you go to the head coach's hometown, which was cool. But we don't tend to stay in a lot of places. So, it's hard for me to say, oh, it's fun to play in Des Moines or it's fun to play in Sioux City. The environment, I guess, Fargo, it's the building's full. I get a spicy pie afterwards. Their pizza is fantastic. Shout out to Spicy Pie in Fargo, North Dakota.
Hey, those donuts they sell in the arena too. Sioux City does those.
Yeah. They've got the cinnamon almonds or whatever in Fargo.
Smell them as soon as you get in.
I that's a good question. I don't. There's certain environments that they're more enjoyable. Like It's not all that fun to play in Tri-City. It's not all that fun to play in Sioux City. They tend to be quieter crowds. I like a rowdy crowd. I like I like to feel like you're the away team and you're getting booed and whatever. The old building in Des Moines, I felt was a little bit more of a fun environment to play in. The new building smells better, so that's good.
Just about as cold.
Yeah,
we can confirm.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Sioux Falls, and I mean, we've been in there where there's like 10,000 people, but it just doesn't feel like 10,000 people for whatever reason. It's such a big building. It's like playing an NHL game where, the stands are full, but the environment isn't there. Versus Fargo gets really loud, and the fans are obviously right on top of you, and so that's a pretty fun one.
I'll go with Waterloo. We've had some unbelievable playoff games there the last 2 seasons. I think it's the best post-game meal in the USHL, I would argue, when we stay there.
Yeah.
They got the barbecue in that hotel that we stay at. I like the hotel, too. It's a good hotel.
It's a very nice hotel.
We're right next to the arena with the hotel.
We can walk there and grab a cup of coffee on the way. Listen, we win when we go to Waterloo more often than we lose. We've won some playoff series there, so I'm partial to that. I could do without the cowbells. That's kind of their thing there with Waterloo.
But that's a place, Dubuque, going with your thought a moment ago. You were saying like going and being like the bad guy.
We are very much.
We very much
there.
are there, and that is fun when you can spoil things there for them.
And that's again, we talk about this, this rivalry that existed between Omaha and Lincoln for obvious reasons, right? Yep. For many, many years, and I haven't felt that yet, and I've said that on a number of occasions. It's not what it was built up for me to be when I got here. I feel more of a rivalry with Waterloo, right? Because we've played each other in the playoffs a few times, and actually all 3 years we played each other in the playoffs. So
it all blends together now.
You're certainly building up that extra competitive nature when it comes to a team like that. I feel that with Fargo a little bit because we played them in the conference finals, and
absolutely.
I still have flashbacks of year one against Tri-City where they just used to pound us into the dirt every game. And so, I feel it more personally with some of those teams than I do with Omaha. But like I said, again, in post game on Saturday, Omaha's better, Lincoln's better, the USHL's better when the Lincoln-Omaha rivalry is alive and well. And, let's hope that they can straighten things out there here in the future, and we can get back to that.
I think if both teams were at their peak, I don't think any other 2 teams could argue in the league that they have a better rivalry.
No, I would agree.
No
now,
one in the East.
I mean, you can talk about, I don't know, like you got Waterloo, Dubuque, and they do their Cowbell Cup and whatever.
But there's not exactly 2 teams specifically in the Cowbell Cup who you go like that. They both hate each other the most. It's like the debate. Let's go football, since we talk football plenty on the show. It's like the Penn State debate. Who is Penn State's biggest rival? Because no one considers them their biggest game.
Well, Penn State considers Ohio State their rival, but Ohio State does not consider Penn State their rival. In fact, obviously, they just, our defensive coordinator went and signed with them, and I don't really care. I don't really care. Our running back coach from 2 years ago went to Michigan, and that, I didn't think he was that great, so I didn't really care. But that one was more frustrating than to see Jim Knowles walk away and go to Penn State. So, I don't know. I know Youngstown and Muskegon kind of get after it a little bit, and
it's newer, so I'll give it that, but it doesn't have the history.
No, it does.
So it's where if Lincoln and Omaha can get back to what it was, no one can touch that rivalry.
I would agree.
I mean, just what the crowd showing up the way it did for one team that's on a 6-game winning, turned into a 6-game winning streak, and the other team who's on we turned into an 18-game losing streak, and we can get almost 4,000 people there. That tells you all you need to know about the history of that rivalry. And
all those people can take a peek at how good of a game Lincoln and Waterloo is, or how good of a game Lincoln and Fargo is. And
absolutely,
and
Fargo will be here March 17th. That'll be one. Waterloo's here later in the year. I mean, every time we play Waterloo, it's unbelievable. They're great. Feels like a playoff game.
They feel that way because that's how the playoff series have played out as well. They've been so tight, and they're low scoring at times, and it helped that we kind of broke it open in the third a little bit on Saturday, and then have a couple scraps and kind of get the cherry on top, so to speak. But those are great games, and I love that our fans come out in droves when we play those guys. I just would love to see them come and experience it against another team because I think they'd enjoy the product even more.
And you can't help but look at it though too. We mentioned Waterloo the last few years. You look at the standings, it's right there. It could happen again this year.
Come on.
I mean, right now they're fifth. Waterloo is fifth right now in the Western Conference. Stars are first.
And if it finished the way it finished, you would play the winner of the 4-5, right?
Yeah, we would.
Which would be them or Fargo, right?
I think it's down there now. Yeah.
And then Sioux City and Tri-City would be the 3-6.
Yeah, Fargo's 4 right now. You're right. So it certainly could happen again. We might see them again this year. Who knows? I'd like to see someone different. It'd be fun to get a change of pace. I also wouldn't mind going there or having them come to us.
To become that would be a 5-game series. So they would at least get one home game.
3 and 4, unless it's like the chaos last year with Sioux City.
Well, they had building issues, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. At the end of the day, I really don't care who we play. We got to beat the teams that are in front of us, and whether it be Waterloo or anybody else, we'll be prepared to do that. But purely from just a different experience perspective, it would be nice to look at somebody else in the playoffs. It's been, Waterloo 3 times. We had Des Moines one time. We had Fargo one time. We had obviously Sioux City. So, we haven't really seen a lot of different opponents, just the way the playoffs shake out.
The one thing that's got to be worth talking about is that battle for a bye, for a first-round bye. It's something you've talked about wanting a lot before, and it's something we've seen in recent years. Recent Clark Cup winners, you pretty much have to get a bye to win the Clark Cup. It's not impossible, but it really makes your task a little bit easier. Talk to me about that, because that's something we've been hovering 1, 2, barely 3 ever in the conference this year, but that is certainly something that would make everyone's lives easier, getting a first-round bye.
Yeah, there's 2 schools of thought that, you just keep playing and you just kind of ride it and what have you. But the way our playoffs are set up, which I'm not a fan of, I don't think I've hid from that. You finish playing on Saturday and then you turn around and you start your playoff series on Monday, and you play Monday, Tuesday, potentially Wednesday. You start your next playoff series on Friday. It's such a race at that point. And it's hard to prepare. It's hard to recover. It's hard to do all these things. And so if you don't have to play that first series and you get your traditional week off, not a week off, but a week of practice and a week of prep, and you start your first series on a Friday instead of the previous Monday, I do think that's a massive advantage. And so, you look at the teams that have won it in the last 3 years, and obviously we could dig back a little further, but it's been quite a while since somebody has won it that didn't get the bye. Madison made the final a couple years ago without the bye. Obviously, we were in the conference finals without the bye, but it's a challenge, and every little bit of extra rest at that time of year really, really factors in. In fact, to the point where we've been discussing like time where we can give the guys off in February and March, and maybe find a little time to let them go home for a couple days. And we don't have an off weekend. We haven't had an off weekend all year. We haven't had an off weekend during the season since I've been here. And so there is no time to let them go home. And we're fortunate to have the long Christmas break. If we can schedule some time where even if they go home Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, just enough to get away and get reset, I think that'll make a big difference for us down the stretch.
We saw just what that did coming back from Christmas. I mean, this team's been playing. We've only lost twice since coming back from Christmas. There's no doubt.
In overtime, right?
Yeah. I mean, points in all but 1 game since returning from Christmas. It's like you said, sometimes you need that healthy break. I think it's any job is that way too. Where you just, you need a little bit of a break, reset. You come back more often than not, more fired up if you get your rest.
Well, and we also looked at our schedule in January, and we felt like there was a lot of gettable points on the schedule. And so, we wanted to try to get as many as those as we can and put ourselves in a good position. Now we're, we got 25 games left, and that sounds like a lot, but it's going to go by fast. And, I feel like we're in a good spot to win enough games to put ourselves in one of those bye situations, and then you figure out where the rest of the conference falls. But if you're sitting and watching in the first round, you're giving yourself a better chance to win.
You look at the schedule right now. There's about 2.5 months left. There's a fair amount of games in that time, so it's going to fly by. But when you just look at the calendar itself, this is when it moves to me. We feel that a little bit before the holidays. January, it depends how you're playing. I think it can go by fast, but now it's like we are really getting into game action here.
Yeah, and I tell the guys at the beginning of the year, don't blink, because when you do, we'll be putting the Christmas tree up. And then I told them again after the game on Saturday, guys, we got 25 left. Don't blink, because pretty soon you'll be wearing shorts to the rink and it'll be playoff time. And you only get one opportunity to sit in this room with this exact group, this family that we have today. And at the end of the year, guys move on. Some guys go to college, some guys, whatever. But the group is not the exact same. And so you want to be able to live in the moment. You want to be able to be where your feet are and appreciate the opportunities that we have on a daily basis. And, I thought we had a great practice today. It was a lot of energy and compete, and guys were having a lot of fun. It was when we're doing things right, I'm not stressed and screaming and yelling. I'm motivating with, positive when it comes to competing and working, and they're motivating, they're pushing each other, and they're getting after it, man. They're getting after it. And I thought today was one of those skates where, everybody was really going and the energy was great. Vibe in the room was great. And so hopefully that leads to a successful weekend.
It's been the type of group where you felt like they've needed to have a message in some way that it feels like the message has been received pretty quickly. Where you look back, let's say last Friday, you talked about it afterwards. You said, hey, first 2 periods could have been better. Third period was strong. The next 3 periods, really good, obviously.
You know what? They're the type of group that, not that I've ever been a mind game guy. I don't believe in that. I as a player, I always felt like I appreciated honesty, and whenever I'm recruiting a player, it's, hey man, there's no gray area here. It's very black and white. We're going to be very honest with you. Sometimes you're not going to like that, but it's for your benefit and for your growth. And this group has been the type that I can just talk to. And I can tell them, hey, gentlemen, like we're not playing up to our potential. Our compete level's not there, or our details aren't there. And we've got such good leadership with our captains, and even the guys that aren't wearing letters are, whether it's Schlainer or it's Loomer or Webbs, whoever it is. There's so many guys not wearing letters in there that are impacting the room in a positive way. And so I can just tell the guys, hey, come on, like you guys need to have a conversation, because what's going on right now isn't good enough, and they know that already. And so a room that's led by the coach can achieve a lot. A room that is led by the players can win championships, and that's been our approach, is to force them into leading and to ownership of the situation early on, and they took that and they've run with it, and they're passionate about it. They hold each other accountable. They serve each other. And that's where you have the most success.
Certainly is held true recently. 6-game winning streak, trying to match the longest of the season of 7 games. And like we said, it's going to be a heck of a test this weekend. But looking forward to that at Cedar Rapids Friday, at Dubuque Saturday, and then at Sioux City on Sunday. Next home game for the Stars coming up Friday, February 7th against Omaha. We've got a fun deal for that one. It's going to be enjoyable for fans. We're doing buy one, get one Busch Light Tall Boys for that one. And then $3 Michelob Ultra draws all game long, of course, while supplies last. Get your tickets for that game now at LincolnStars.com. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we're going to welcome our 2 guests onto the show, Aiden Jans and Jacob Brombach. Stick around for more in just a moment. This is Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100, and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock. A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
Early break. Joe says, Kevin says, the old days were absolutely not better times. Lots of hardships. Life in 2025 is better than ever. Oh, I love when we get these jokes back. I love
Good
them.
joke, good
I love
one.
that joke. You're a good one.
Good one, Kevin.
You're hilarious, Kevin. You keep it up.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again on 93.7 The Ticket. We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on Outside the Box. I'm Joel Norman, joined by a couple of members of the Stars who both had a way of contributing here this past weekend. The Stars adding to their winning streak, getting it up to 6 games now as we head into a weekend road trip coming up this week in Iowa. Aiden Jans to my direct right, and then further to my side, Jacob Brombach joining us. Guys, 2 different ways to contribute. Romer, you got the goal on Saturday. Jansy, can we call it a fight? Can we say that was a fight in the third, or was it a shoving match?
I don't know. I mean, he did have a bubble on, so.
He did.
I don't know. I don't know. I was just trying to get the crowd going, so.
It certainly worked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a lot of energy
lot,
after that.
yeah.
The shoving match you guys had. I'd imagine for a player, especially in your home crowd, that's got to be quite the thrill.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
How did that even start? Let's talk about that, because there was a collision in the corner. You kind of go over and took matters into your own hands.
I mean, yeah, the kid, he was like all game just going around hitting kids, being a beauty. So, I just on the bench, I was like, you know what, why not get the crowd going? I don't know, put him in his place. So
we hadn't really seen that as part of your game.
No,
we hadn't seen the
I
physicality of Aiden Jans.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise me too. So
was that something where you think you're just feeling the emotions of the game in the moment?
Yeah.
Where, hey, we got a packed house. This is Omaha.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I was just trying to have some fun, get the boys riled up. So
Romer, you had the goal as well on Saturday. That was a big one. The end of the first period, where it was a really good first period for you guys. But the way I was looking at it was like, boy, this is 1-0 going into the locker room. This is not okay. Like, we probably should have had at least 2. You made sure of that there. Was that something for you? It kind of felt like, okay, we can breathe a little better heading into the locker room, knowing we did what we had to in this period.
Yeah, obviously getting more goals will give you a little bit more padding, help you settle in a little bit more. And we know that this year we have a really good team, and can't underestimate any team though. But yeah, we should beat Omaha though.
Took care of business with that, went 3-0 against them this season, and we'll face them again in a couple of weeks. But the 3 big road games coming up this week. Harrison, you say we had a text on the line for the guys at all?
Yeah, we got this one. Well, actually, we got a couple of them. One from Gino and one from Niall. This one I might need some context, though. Glad to see Jansy didn't break his hand on that fishbowl on Saturday. From Niall. What's the context behind this one?
Well, so I'll explain first before Jander gets into it. So for people who aren't familiar with in hockey, they call it a fishbowl when it's kind of a full visor that covers the entire face. It's similar to like the cage mask, but this one there's a little more visibility, so to speak, with the full visor itself. So throwing a punch against that would be very painful. They're a little thicker than people realize.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was thinking about dropping them, but then I saw he had the bubble on, so I was like, no.
Yeah, no need to do that.
Yeah, no, my hand.
And we got another one from Jacob. This one's from Gino here. He said, hey, Jacob, it looks like you have upped your physical game since you returned from World Juniors. When are we going to get to see you throw?
What's your answer?
I've been waiting on this one too. So.
That's a tough question. Definitely trying to get into one this year. Get some experience in it. But
was it against Muskegon? You were in a little bit of a wrestling match back in our own end. There was something against the wall, right beside the bench. It was a couple games ago though. You were kind of someone was.
Oh yeah.
You kind of like someone had toppled over onto you. You kind of flipped them over while you were down or whatever. I'm blanking on which game that was.
I think it was Muskegon.
Was it Muskegon?
I think it was one of those. Yeah. It was at home.
I know against NTDP.
Maybe that's.
Oh no, it was NTDP.
That's when I pinned a guy and then took him to the ground. And then ended up coming after me at the end of the game. Game's over and the score's already.
And that's another one where you can't really fight them because they have the cage helmets on and you can't get a punch in there. So it's certainly a little different in that sense. You did wear the cage helmet though at World. Didn't you do it at World Junior A? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, so you
guys
had
did
to since we were under 18.
Yeah. Tell people about the difference. And Janner, you can go on this too because you wore it last year playing AAA and a little bit with the Stars as well. That's a big difference, guys, between just a normal visor and the cage. I mean, tell me about that a little bit, Jacob.
Yeah, going to a World Junior A and having to wear a cage and having a chin strap and all that stuff in the way. I definitely want to wear a visor. It makes you like settle it on the decision. I need a visor.
What's the biggest challenge for you, Janner?
I mean, it's just the breathing. Like, I have asthma, like a little bit of asthma. So it's harder to breathe with the cage on, the mouthpiece or the chin guard up by your face, and when you just have a visor, it's just way easier to breathe.
I can't imagine how difficult it is for you guys. I played stupid street hockey as a kid, and that sucked wearing it for that. And I was like, geez, you can't see that. I can't imagine at the speed you guys are going, how difficult that's got to be. It's a big difference between a clear visor or no visor, which Yavash would do in practice last year. So it's a heck of a difference between the two of those for sure.
Yeah.
But 3 road games coming up this week, guys. This is going to be an interesting challenge. Not only trying to add to this win streak, but trying to stay atop the Western Conference. Yeah. You were both here last year. You know the importance of how there's these stretches in the season where you can kind of it can kind of be the dog days, or it can kind of be one of these stretches where, hey, this is a lot of hockey all at once. Having gone through this already, do you guys view this almost as that challenge, but you're also almost more prepared for it? I'll start with you, Aiden.
Yeah, we're definitely prepared for it. I think we're trying to get our get back with Cedar and Dubuque, and Sioux City. We always have bad blood with them. I mean, looking back on road games, I think we're like pretty good on them. We go to Youngstown, Chicago, those far places, and we handle business. So I think we'll be just fine.
Jacob, is it interesting paying 3 different teams in 3 days? We've seen maybe 2 in 1, or maybe one's at home, one's on the road, one's with similarities, some on the schedule. This is unique. This is 3 different towns, 3 different opponents, 3 straight days.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be different, but we're up for the challenge, so we're going to be ready for it. So.
It starts on Friday at Cedar Rapids, then at Dubuque on Saturday, and then on Sunday afternoon at Sioux City. Really quick turnaround after that one. It's going to be funky, guys, because these are 3 very different opponents. Cedar Rapids fighting for a playoff spot. You look right after that, and Dubuque's top of the USHL, only team above us, and then Sioux City's only, I think it's 5 points behind us right now. So these are going to be 3 different hungry teams for 3 different reasons. When you guys are in a spot like this, how much do you enjoy kind of being that team, the top of the standings, compared to last year where we were fighting? We were fighting to get in a playoff picture. We were fighting to stay in it. Now it's almost fun to be that team. The teams are kind of hunting after.
Yeah. I mean, it's way better than last year. We were just fighting. Game by game, we were fighting. But this year, I mean, we kind of have like the same mentality. Just like, doesn't matter. Like, playoffs don't start now. Playoffs start in, or is it March, April?
Mid-April.
Yeah,
we got 2.5 months.
Yeah, we still got 2 months. So a lot can change in 2 months. So we just gotta keep at the top.
What about for you, Jacob?
Yeah, basically what Janer said. You spoke it really well. So.
Well, let me ask you guys this part, where last year it was hard to string together wins at times. This year it's been easier too. Is it when things are tougher, is it almost more motivating? Like, okay, we've been losing. We're going to find a way to win here this time, or is it easier in an instance like this where you're winning repetitively and it's like, hey, let's just keep it going?
Yeah. I mean, like the boys, like in the locker room, like when we're losing, like the boys are always like being motivated. Like, yeah, we got this. Like, we don't lose control like we did a lot last year. Like, we didn't just give up in the first period. So like, yeah, like we're not like giving up after like the first 2 periods. So, I mean, it's pretty different than last year, because last year our mentality wasn't the greatest in the first couple months leading into the second half of the season. But yeah, this year is just way different with that.
Yeah, we actually have confidence this year going into every game.
What was the biggest thing that changed there to bring the confidence this season? It's just that you guys seeing each other again and being like, okay, we've been in this league. We know what we have to do now.
Yeah.
It's definitely that. Yeah, like being here from last year.
And not wanting to go on a 11-game losing streak like last year.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, November was very tough. Yeah, that was a long month.
Yeah, that was the greatest.
I think it's so interesting with how many guys we had coming back from a year ago. There's so many of you guys who last year was the first year in the league. Now it's like, I think everyone's viewing you guys in that veteran sense, whether it's your second year or third year with the team, because you've been able to go through so much. There were a lot of tough downs last year. There was there was some ups in there too. Here this year, there's a lot of ups. It's for me, I would imagine is there a challenge with kind of just maintaining the same head despite that? Or is this something that you're probably thinking maybe I'll look back at later and say, hey, I'm really glad I learned this in junior hockey now.
I think Rocky and all of the guys, I think we all have the same mentality going into practice each and every day to get better and be prepared for the weekend. So. And last year obviously helped. So when we do have bumps in the road, we know to keep persevering. So,
yeah, I mean, you said it great. Like last year, like obviously wasn't the greatest year, but and in a way, like helped us, like help the returners get like the mindset, like, oh, like, yeah, we're losing, and then like we score like all these goals this year, like we didn't last year.
No.
We have a lot of goal scorers on our team. So that definitely helps us win the games, but I think it's just like the mentality side of it.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference a season can make in a lot of ways. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with more in a little bit. Aiden Jans and Jacob Rombach joining me. I'm Joel Norman, and this is Outside the Box as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey on 93.7 The Ticket.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100 and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again for our last time this week on Outside the Box as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman chatting with Stars forward Aiden Jans and defenseman Jacob Rombach. And guys, we talked about it a little bit last Saturday. 3,856 fans on hand. Most fans we'd had at a game since November of 2019. How special was that of an atmosphere for you guys? We had a couple big crowds last year, but Jacob, I'll start with you. I mean, for me, that's a night I'm always going to remember just watching in that building.
Yeah, it was pretty lit. It was pretty special that all the fans came out to support us. So, and being able to play in front of all of those fans, get you going. So, get you going.
It felt like right from the get-go, Aiden, they were ready to go.
Yeah. It was pretty sweet. I mean, it got really loud in there. Not even like talking about the fights, like the goals. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, you could just look around, like, and the crowd was just going nuts. And I mean, that's what I love. Like, just playing in front of a big crowd, and they're into the sport. So it's great.
What for you guys did you feel like was the loudest moment? And you can say one of your individual moments if you felt like that in the moment. But there were a couple of moments I was like, I felt like that was a pretty big one, but it was just such a good energy all evening. I wasn't sure if there was one that stood out to you guys.
I would say Younger's fight.
Yeah, I was going to say Younger's fight.
That was a good scrap too. They both got some rights in there.
And Younger ended up on top. So
he did.
Yeah. I would say Younger's fight too. I mean, I was right there in the glass to see him. So I mean, that was a good fight. Younger's gotten some good fights.
Did you guys sense it the way I did? I'm sure everyone else did. There was such a I think it was when we got back ahead by 5. The game kind of started to stall out a little bit because right at the start of the third period was like every other shot felt like it was going in. Then it kind of slowed down. Did you guys get that feeling I had too, where it's like the crowd wants a fight now?
Oh yeah,
like they want to see guys drop the gloves and like let's go. So
I mean, even like the bench like wanted it.
Yeah,
like, Rocky wanted it so bad. I mean, we haven't gotten one in like
it'd been
a
while. Yeah.
Was it like Younger and Fargo, or
was it?
No,
it had been a while.
Sandy,
Sandy dropped on the road the one Tri-City. Yeah, it was him and McEwen, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ooh, that's been a while.
And that was a tilt too. And that was one that I remember.
It was a bloody tilt.
Because they both got a little banged up after that one. And then Sandy fought at Waterloo at home. There's always a few fights early in the season. But yeah, I forgot about that one too. But we haven't had a ton of scraps.
No.
Younger, I think, had one earlier this year.
Yeah, against Fargo.
Yeah.
That's right. That's who it was.
That was a really good one.
That was at home.
That was a long one, too.
And that was at home. That was the game we won.
Center ice, too.
That's right.
That's right. A really good one.
It's one of those things where we don't see the fights a ton anymore, but there's certainly times for them, right? We can bring a lot of energy in those moments. So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I thought the same thing, where it's like the crowd was waiting for that. The players were kind of looking for it.
Yeah.
I remember knowing that. I was like, yeah, it's definitely true, because I saw like there'd be hits and then I'd see someone look up at the clock.
Yeah.
Because and not everyone knows this rule, but you can't fight under 5 minutes without getting a 1-game suspension. 5 minutes remaining in the third period. So it was funny when you'd see collisions, a little shoving, and then someone's like, no, I can't. Or, I got time to do it. So it's just it's one of those fun things. I love when people figure that out, because you realize there's a real science to it. For you guys, it's like, I got to go now. I want to go at all. But let's talk again about this coming weekend real quickly. It's 3 straight road games. We've had a lot of home contests since returning from Christmas, and I think there's something to be said about being comfortable and familiar and getting your routine in. How nice is I won't say nice, how advantageous is this potentially, though, to get you a little uncomfortable where, hey, these are 3 road games. Hey, it is going to be an early start time on Sunday to get the road and play almost immediately. Is it good, though, when you get a little uncomfortable like this? Start with you, Aiden.
I don't know. I mean, we got 3 games against like top teams. Like, I mean, Cedar, like we lost to them at the beginning of the year. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm nervous for that one, but like I'm pretty excited to play them. Like I want to get my get back, but that's a good team. Like you can't
absolutely
look down on them. And then Sioux City, great team. Dubuque, really good team. So, I mean, yeah, of course, like I'm a little uncomfortable for it, but like, we're always ready. Like our team's never like not ready for it.
What about for you, Jacob? I mean, it's the type of thing where I'm just saying it takes you out of the routine, and it is going on the road, and it is 3 different barns over the weekend.
I think it's kind of setting up for playoffs a little bit. Yeah, it's always like you could go from one team and then you got to get ready for the next team like within 2 days. And I feel like that's like this. You got to travel 3 different places. Could be going 3 different places in 3 different nights in playoffs. So it kind of helps prepare you for that.
I'll tell you guys a story about that. A couple of years ago, my first season with the team, we had a situation almost like that. We were playing Fargo in the conference finals, and my apartment lease was ending, I think, before that round was going to end. So I was setting up for a situation. I remember I was like, okay, we have to win games 3 and 4 at home. Yeah. And I thought, okay, we might go on the road to Fargo. I'm going to have to move out of my apartment. And then I don't know, like we go to Fargo and then we'll probably go straight to Waterloo or Youngstown at the time, or was it Chicago or Youngstown. I remember being like, this is nuts. This is like that where you're like, this is 3 different towns in play right now. Yeah. I don't know where to leave all my stuff at too. Yeah. It is the chaos of that. But going into that discussion, I was talking to Rocky about it, but for you guys, I would imagine after doing that last year, after going through the gauntlet, that is the first 2 rounds of the Clark Cup playoffs, I would imagine it is a heavy goal for this team, a serious goal to get that first round bye.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's one of our goals. We made a list of goals at the start of the year, and definitely getting first round bye is one of our goals. So.
It would just make everything a lot easier.
Oh, so easy. I mean, going to Waterloo last year wasn't fun, but I mean, we took care of business there. But even if we don't get a first round bye, I mean, we'll take care of business. Like, we're not just gonna like go in and be like, oh, like we didn't get a first round bye, we were supposed to, but we're gonna wash the fact that we were supposed to get one, and we're gonna go take care of business. So.
Yeah, still got 2.5 months to lock that up. A lot of time, guys. It starts this weekend. Let's go get 6 points. 3 games, 3 days. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aiden Jans and Jacob Brombach joining me. As I mentioned, 3 road games at Iowa this weekend for the Stars, back at home against Omaha, February the 7th. You can get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com. We will talk to you next week on Tuesday here on Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.
Start.